Welcome to the Pro-Black Perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions. Your host tonight is the author of the Pro-Black Compendium and Zuberi and the Maroons of Ma'at, the Pan-African Nationalist, Oni. Oni, what are we discussing tonight?
All right. Peace, family. Today we're going to be discussing, as usual, the enemies within, because you have to remember that if there's no enemy without, then if there's no enemy within, then the enemy without cannot harm you. All right? And the issue is that we actually have quite a few enemies within. And what I want to do is I want to correct the last podcast. In the last podcast, I blamed ABA for this article that came out where this brother in Africa kind of released an article and says, well, I shouldn't say brother in Africa. I should say one of the enemies within, right, in Africa, releases some post saying that black Americans want African immigrants to go home or not to show up, or continental Africans to not show up. And I blamed ABA for that, saying, why would you have a hostile post against, black folk, and why would you blah, so forth? But nah, real talk, I'm going to blame that dude, right? And I'm going to put him in a different category. So this week we're going to have a new category, and that's going to be BANs, okay? BANs. And for those of you who don't know what a BAN is, right? Let's just say it's the B word, the A word, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's what I'm saying. All right? So, while I go into the documents and show you who the enemies are within, because we got quite a few this week, I want to remind you that I'm part of a podcasting network. And also, of course, shout out to the chat. We have Lero, we have Walter Wilder, and we have the Learning Curve Revolutionary Matron. So appreciate all three of y'all for showing up, because we out here, right? As Lero said, we out here. But yeah, we're gonna go into this. So make sure you stay tuned. But until then, check this out.
This is D Webb with the Harsh Reality Podcast, asking you to tune in where we tackle the news of the day that affects our community, only on KWAZ Radio.
Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio. You are listening to the Pro-Black Perspective on KWAZ Radio.
All right, so this is the week of February 6th, and we got 5 BANs, 2 ABAs, right? We got 1 mangina. There was a mangina this week. We don't got no pass me's just yet. Alphabet Squad, I kind of don't even, I try to avoid them. So, I didn't catch any. Comrades didn't really catch. There was 1 evolutionary. And we're going to finish off with one of these Pan-Africanists. Real talk, I don't know if this was an addition before. No, I think I added I added Alphabet Squad and the BANs. So remember, from last week, we moved that article from last week to the BANs. Because, we have a lot. If you notice, there's a total of 10 enemies within this week. And 5 of them, half of them, are BANs. So we gonna go into that. And, you could call them bitch asses if you want. I know some of y'all use the N-word. I try not to use the N-word, but if I do use the N-word, it's only a few circumstances, and this is one of them. But I'm gonna try to avoid using it right now, although I might not help myself as I read these examples. But here we have, so like I said, this African Insider article, that was a BAN move. Talking about black Americans don't like Africa. Like that's a BAN. Like, you run into the white boy to tell him that, that's a BAN move. But while in between time, in the meantime, let me see if I can catch y'all with these 5 examples for this week. Oh, and I'm gonna do a new edition. Basically, I know a lot of y'all don't really know about Pro-Black Compendium like that, but I'm gonna use an example from the Pro-Black Compendium, okay, for each of these examples. So what I'm gonna do, in fact, I'm going to start off, read to y'all what was in the Pro-Black Compendium, and then get y'all over there. Let me see something. Lero says, folks pray to Christ and Muhammad, but we can't say the N-word, right? Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? But all right, so this first example is, we're going to actually open up the Pro-Black Compendium. So this right here, this Pro-Black Compendium right here, this is in the preview too. So you can get this one for free. All right, you can get this for free. This is in the preview. In the preview, I have a handful of, I don't know if you can see the top where it says a preview to the Pro-Black Compendium. This is on the Discord or on the, you know, on the Google Drive. So you can just download that. But we're going to read this quote before we go into it, because this subject is called a show of force. That's the summary. You know, the summary is a show of force. And just to give you context, I'm going to give you what John Edward Bruce said. This might be like 130 years ago, 150 years ago. You know, this was, John Edward Bruce was the brother before Marcus Garvey showed up. All right? When Marcus Garvey showed up, people were like, yo, Bruce, what did you think about it? You know what I mean? That's how it was, right? So he said, look, back then, he says, while we have been asleep, they have been fortifying their strong cities and piling up ammunitions to meet any attack upon their strong, darker races of the world. We may as well face facts as well as fancies. You know, that last part, we may as well face facts as well as fancies, is one of my favorite quotes. You know, one of my favorite phrases, because a lot of times we like to face fancies instead of facts. So John Edward Bruce is telling you, look, man, while we've been asleep, while we've been doing nothing, right? They're building up their strong cities. They're piling up ammunition. And they're going to try to meet the foes, they're going to try to meet the strong black people around the world. Right? And okay, today you saying, yo, what's strong black people? Exactly. Exactly. So, you know, you got to face facts as well as fancies. But we're going to go into what the prompt is really about. And let's see. I'm gonna hit y'all with the link. Let me see where I can put this. Probably right here. Make sure everything's copacetic. All right. I think that's good work. Let's see. Go to change window. Boom. So it says, this show of force by the NYPD is not just about the cops' funeral. This is a political indicator of the type of policies the NYPD are about to implement. It's about to be horrible for Native Black Americans in NYC. So I'm telling you that this guy's a BAN, right? So what the police do, look like they took down the link. But what this was, this was a cop funeral. So let me see if I could. See, I'm skeptical about. Hold on a second. I'm skeptical about searching on this. You know, sometimes you can search something, and then it just show up. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you just an image, and then I'm gonna look for this funeral, and then hopefully like nothing show up, and then we could show you. But basically, you could tell this dude's a BAN because he sees this big display of white folk, and he's like, oh no, what they gonna do to us? This is what's gonna happen to us. You know, they're showing a strong, and it's like, yo, this is how, this is why you're not finna win if this is your people. You're not finna win if this is your people. I'm telling you, because you want to organize more effectively than the enemies outside. But you can't organize more effectively than the enemies outside if the enemies inside are not going to organize too. So I can't really find the video, I guess. But this is what it kind of looked like, right? Oh, no. All right. This is what it kind of looks like. It's just a swarm of cops. Maybe like 10,000, I don't know, 10,000, 11,000 white folks standing up in the snow in uniform, armed. Right? Armed. Martin Delaney said, whatever liberty costs the whites, it costs the blacks. And we have to, as black people, be willing to pay the same that white folk pay for their liberty. Right? The white man is free because he is violent. Because he is organized violence. You understand? And when you got black folks sitting around, oh, this is a show of force and you gotta watch out. They're coming for you. Right? That's a BAN. He's not gonna be standing out there in the snow. He's not gonna be standing out in the snow in uniform, armed, 10,000 strong. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna be sitting down, well, they shouldn't be this strong. Oh, what are they gonna, they're gonna do something to us. It's a BAN. And I mean, I want y'all to even understand this story, because I mean, this is actually a pretty interesting story. I'm mad I couldn't show you the video. I guess they just took it down. I'm mad I couldn't show you the video. Kofi says, greetings, everyone. Learning Curve says, the first enemy to deal with is the one in you. Then you have to connect with your people to take out the enemy, and then. Yeah. You know, if you got enemy tendencies, because I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to say it's enemy tendencies, but I'll be honest with you. I was watching this, that Chinese film that that Brother Greathouse recommended. Right? The Battle of Changling or something like that. Right? Y'all got to go watch that video. Because sometimes you watch that video and you say, yo, that's some brave shit. That's some courageous shit. You know? Like they ride in a train, like to the battlefield. Right? The Americans fly over on ships. They gotta leave the train. Now they gotta walk to the battlefield. In the freezing snow. Right? They gotta charge tanks and shit. They gotta charge other soldiers and stuff. They gotta fight airplanes and stuff. Right? Sometimes you watching that and you like, damn, you know? I'm not saying that you saying you wouldn't do it, because you know, of course you gotta do it. But that's the difference between us and them. Unfortunately. You know? As Learning Curve says, we got some BAN inside of us. Sometimes. And you gotta kill that too. You gotta deal with the BAN inside of you. You know? But this was an interesting story. Speaking of Lero and the Harsh Reality podcast. By the way, make sure y'all check out the Learning Curve as well. I know my commercial forgot to I gotta add a slot for her, but I was watching the Harsh Reality podcast and there was like shout out to the conspiracy theorists. You know. But basically what I would say is that, you know, the reason for this cop story got kind of relate to the conspiracy theorists. So, you know, as they say, you know. All right, let me see if I can find it. So I put some resources, additional resources. Remember, you guys can access this link if you want. We're going to just post it here. So 2 NYPD officers were shot. Let's see. Police confirmed 22 officers dead. So the reason why I put this is that this is the dude who shot them. Right? And what the story is going to tell you is that now here's the twofold thing to it. Okay, here's the twofold. I want you guys to pick up this. Right? For some reason, this dude is 47. For some reason, this dude, well, he kind of a conspiracy theorist. He kind of a nutcase, no cap. Right? He's fighting with his mother in his apartment, apparently. Right? So, his mother, and he's 47. So, his mother calls and says, hey, you know, my son's, you know, threatening me or fighting me in my house. So, the police show up. Right? Now, he wait behind the door. Right? And he gunned down one of them. Or he shoots 2 of them. The other one who's fleeing gets shot by the officer near him. You know, the officer trying to shoot this dude, and they kill, and he kills the other officer. You know, then they take this dude into custody, obviously, right? But the context, the reason why I'm showing you this because it was an ambush. You know, and that's you know, the mother probably wasn't in on it. You know, but the white boy don't know that. Mother probably wasn't in on it. You know, mother's like, oh, I didn't know the dude had a gun. You know, But like that right there kind of tells you, it tells you two things. One, what kind of strategy you could apply towards ambushes. You know, this is why this white boy, when he go to other countries, y'all be talking about, oh, they kill kids. Yeah, a lot of reasons why people kill kids in war is because sometimes if you lower your guard, right, you kill kids. I mean, kids will kill you. Kids will, like here in New York, you know, if a kid comes up to you and says, hey, I lost my address, I don't know how to find my address, can you lead me to my house? And they show you a piece of paper, right? And the paper shows an address, and you lead the kid to that address. You know, if you're a woman, you know what I mean? You finna get attacked. If you're a man, you finna get attacked. A lot of times, there's such a thing as driving with guard. So the other thing I'll tell you is that this is partly the reason why white folks just don't like you. You know? They just don't like you because they're saying they gotta police your situation. You know, you got a 47-year-old son, right? You in your 60s, 70s, whatever, right? Y'all fighting for some reason. Okay? And now he got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And of course he goes in, if he goes in, they say it's a rookie cop. He goes in sympathetic, hey, you know, I'm just trying to help you, just trying to find you. He gets gunned down. And so, you know, when this other boy was talking about, oh, it's a show of force for black folk, it probably wasn't. But the thing is that, you know, this is just something that I want y'all to realize that even though what this guy does isn't, you know, like who gives a shit, right? It's not necessarily the guy that you would want on the continent. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the guy you would want on the continent. Cause imagine you on the continent and you policing it. You know what I'm saying? You policing him. He's fighting his mother while he on the continent. We got a city on the continent. He fighting his mother in the city. Now what? You understand? Now you going in and he's shooting you down. There's a lot, you know, when we talk about nation building, we really gotta understand the nuances of that. Let me see something. Learning Curve says the kids are weapons and they feel like they can always make more. Yeah, kids are weapons. I mean, you know, kids are just adults who ain't grown yet. Do I have another? Oh, I think that was the only source. Okay, but yeah, if you look into the story, it's pretty interesting. But I mean, I wish I could have shown you all the videos, but you know, until then, it's whatever. We're gonna go to the next BANs, but we're gonna turn to this one's called More Factories, Less Churches. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna turn to the Pro-Black Compendium, because like I said, you guys could download this. It's free. We're gonna go to page. I'm gonna have to turn off this this thing right quick. Hold on a second. But we're gonna go to page 13, right, of the Pro-Black Compendium, and read this Malcolm X quote. So the Malcolm X quote goes: "So the white man, knowing that here in America, all the African has done, I hate to say it, but it's the truth, all you and I have done is build churches and let the white man build factories. You and I build churches and let the white man build schools. You and I build churches and let the white man build up everything for himself. Then after you build the churches, you have to go and beg the white man for a job, beg the white man for some education. Am I right or wrong? Do you see what I mean? It's too bad, but it's true." Okay? What Malcolm X is saying is what we all know. Okay, what we all know. What we all know is that, I know, here's the unfortunate thing. Malcolm X is writing this 50 years ago. And, you know, to this day, I'm not saying that we don't have no factories. I'm not saying that we have no schools. But we don't have no factories and we don't have no schools. To this day. Okay? To this day. And so, you know, and I mean, look, here's the thing that we got to be for real with. Schools cost money. Factories cost even more money. All right? If you don't got schools, I mean, part of the reason why you don't have schools and churches is because you don't got no damn money. Right? or you don't have the damn, like you don't have the resources, you don't have the infrastructure. You don't just have it. But here's this. This is some dude in Nigeria. So I'm gonna put him in the BAN category. Oh, sorry, he in Kenya. But see, it don't matter what country he in. The BAN category. So I said, you have a serious problem if you don't find anything wrong with the village having 1 hospital, 2 schools, 0 factories, and 60 churches. Okay? And it's like, so I had to ask a question. This is us as a people. You know, kind of like Lero was just saying about how we have Christians and so on and so forth. I think my comments up here. See, it's dangerous to scroll on Twitter. I ain't gonna hold you. It's dangerous to scroll on Twitter. All right, here it goes. But who is going to the churches? Every time you point a finger, 4 fingers point back at you. Okay? I mean, technically it's just 3. I don't know, but the point being that that's what's really going on. We the ones supporting this sort of stuff. Learning Curve says churches also cost money. Every church got a building fund. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's the issue. It's like our priorities are off. You know, churches is good if you looking for an afterlife. You know, y'all ever heard that poem? Die nigga, die. I know I don't usually use the N-word, but that's the name of the poem. But die N-word, die. In that poem, it's like N-words love dying. Like we love dying. Like we plan beautiful lives for when we're dead. You know? We plan beautiful lives for when we're dead. Oh, I'm gonna be in heaven. You're gonna be dead. You ain't planning a beautiful life for right now. And then you go and you beg the white boy to give you that beautiful life. You know? BAN means bitch ass. Kofi asks, what does BAN mean? Hold on a second. I gotta turn down this heat because it's hold on a second. I'll be right back. It's gonna be quick. Alright, I hit up that thermostat. So yeah, BAN stands for be like a bitch ass N-word. It's a phrase that they use in America, but it's a useful phrase. Cause sometimes you dealing with BANs. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just a BAN. Just like you complain about factories, but y'all going to church. Like you can't complain about something that you yourself. Cause I tell you, I went to Africa. And I mean, I'll tell you, everything was shut down on Sunday. Couldn't even get something to eat on Sunday. You know, you wake up, you know, the sun, you know, it's nice and bright, you know, nice and heated in your room. You know, you got a light blanket on, but you know, it's nice and heated. You know, most people like would tell me to put an air conditioner on or something. But it's whatever, right? You get up, you say you get up kind of early, you know, maybe like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You and your son out there, you want to go and get something to eat. Nothing open till 12. You understand? But then you there, oh, well, why the white man? You know, why didn't no hospitals? Why didn't no? See, and that's the difference. And that's the difference. You see, when you talk about, and this is another thing with that 80 West thing that you got to realize, the ABA thing, right? You got to realize that here, when in America, like Malcolm X pulled your card. He said, you ain't building factories. He said, you ain't building hospitals. You ain't building schools. The white boy did. You understand? You built the churches. Now the difference between America and Africa, though, is that there's no white boy down there to build more factories for you. There's no white boy there to build more schools for you. You got to build them for yourself. And so, you know, the ABA, right? They flexing on the African because the white boy built them a factory. Of course, the white boy stopped building you guys factories, and now you whining. You know, the white boy stopped building the ADOS factories, and now they whining. You know, I tell you, like, I used to work in, I used to do the organizing in this Brooklyn neighborhood. I tell you, it's Brownsville, right? And the sister would tell me, hey, you know, once upon a, like, back in 50 years ago, or whatever, or 30 years ago, who knows? Well, who cares, right? Point is that, she said, you know, 30 years ago, this neighborhood was flourishing. There was a factory down the street, and all the brothers had good jobs. But the factory now move to, you know, India. You know, because it's cheaper to build a factory in India than it is to build a factory in New York City. Obviously. You know? And I think that people don't realize is that black folk like to get paid a lot. You know, white folk get paid a lot. Black folk like to get paid as much as white folk. Right? So if you like to get paid as much as white folk, and the Indian don't care about getting paid as much as white folk, he's gonna leave the white man and the black man for the Indian man. Because, you know, it's profit of a people. Right? And so, now when the factory leaves Brooklyn, I tell you, Brownsville is now notorious. Brownsville is basically Bed-Stuy, but less safe. You know what I'm saying? Basically Bed-Stuy, but less safe. You know Bed-Stuy do or die. You know where Biggie and I think Jay-Z grew up. Oh, like basically where Jay, like kind of like that. If you know where they grew up. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm not 100%, but I think Marcy Projects is in Brownsville. I'm not 100%. But the thing with Brooklyn is that when you don't drive, you know, like areas kind of blend together. But I think it might be on the other side of, I don't know, it might be on the other side of New York, honestly. But yeah, I mean, like if see what would make you, and that's the thing that I keep reminding y'all, because sometimes you be like, hey man, you know, the hood, blah 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 blah. You know, one of the things that I don't like this nearly fooler guy, right? I don't like him, but he's like, hey, you know, the white man could stop white supremacy if he wanted to, right? And that's why you gotta beg the white man to stop white supremacy. And it's like, it's not even that the white man could stop white supremacy. It's that the white man can build factories in the hood, right? The people in the hood can't, but the white man can. That's what really it is. So the white man wanted to stop crime and give you a nice job in the same location. He could do that, but why would he? Not only does he not do that because it's super expensive for him, but it just doesn't make any damn sense why he would. Now, if you go on to him and begging him and making a moral argument and saying, well, could you make a, you know, because I'll tell you this, like a factory costs maybe $1 million to $10 million, right? If you go to the white man and say, hey, could you please, can you build a $10 million? And look, I'll tell you, it probably costs like $100,000. I'm just capping right now, but it costs like $100,000 to build the same factory in India, right? And if you're paying the workers in Brooklyn, for instance, you're paying them maybe $15 to $18 an hour. In fact, if you want to be competitive, real talk, you probably paying them $18 an hour, right? In India, you paying them maybe $5 an hour. Okay? Maybe even $5 a day. Right? So basically, the argument of begging this white boy to fix this problem, because the problem would be solved if you have the factories. Right? Is to say, hey, can you put $10 million into building a factory and then giving us $20 an hour job so that we could be a safer neighborhood? And he's like, why the fuck would I do that? If I could build 5 factories in India and get the same kind of work, what's the point? You know? And then like I said, it's the same thing for us, because it's like, yeah, we could. And look, I'll tell you that the price numbers are the same for us. If we want to now help out the hoods of America, right? Help out Brownsville, let's say, we gotta pay that $1 to $10 million for the factory. Where we also have the option to, you know, not necessarily go to India, although we could. But we could be like, oh, well, what about the people in Africa who are working on $5 a day? But you're not listening. You're not listening. And remember, the factory that the products produced in the Indian factory is the same products produced in the American factory. And it might just be an additional shipping cost if you're selling in America from producing in India. Might be an additional, but it's not as additional as overpaying people in America. You know? I know you were like, wait, what you sure it would be $20? You sure it would be $18 an hour in America? Yeah, because I'll tell you, I was just walking into this restaurant, and they were talking about how much they pay the burger flippers in Brooklyn. How much they're offering burger flippers in order to get money. You know, like they're offering like I want to say $17, $18, right, to flip burgers in these restaurants. So if they're offering that to flip burgers, then of course if you're doing some factory stuff, they're gonna offer you more. Because otherwise you're not gonna go to the factory, you're gonna go flip a burger. You understand? And then of course how many factories, like it's, I'm telling you, like sometimes I'm finna, I don't know if I told y'all this, I'm finna write an essay. I'm trying to start an essay book and tell y'all a little bit more about economics. But anyway, but that was that one. So this one's summary is money ritual. Okay, this is money ritual. So let me see what the comments are like. Kofi says, "LOL, let ADOS tell it. They made everything. Yeah, they made everything. They shit. You got 20 churches in your neighborhood. You made everything. Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jagan says BAN. I don't know, but DAN is dumb as, yeah. You already know. Tanzan says, please explain the acronyms. What is ABA? ABA is anything but African. So whether you call yourself FBA, ABA, you call yourself some American. ADOS. You call yourself Hebrew Israelite. You call yourself whatever those days, Native American, all that kind. Like everybody just trying to be anything but Africans, So, that right there is just, you know what it is. Manginas is obviously the pusillanimous men, the men with vaginas pretty much. No disrespect to women, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I'm just, sometimes when it comes to men, you just gotta attack their masculinity. And, but no disrespect to women, Let's see. So this is the money ritual. So we're going to go to page 28 of the Pro-Black Compendium. Now make sure you guys download this. Like I said, it's free. Just click on the link below, I believe. But here it goes. It says burn right here. It says, if the young are not initiated into the village, they will burn it down just to feel its warmth. Okay? If the young are not initiated into the village, they will burn it down just to feel its warmth. By the way, this whole section of the Pro-Black Compendium right here is something you're supposed to do with a group. You're supposed to sit around a table, and be like, hey, I'm going to read this. I'm going to tell you what I think it means. You guys tell me what you think it means. And then we're going to read and then the next person reads the next thing, and you go in a circle until you complete a section, right? So it'd be like, if the young are not initiated, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to me? So on and so forth. And so I might give this example, right? And so the example I might give is this one right here, matter of fact. Going back to the paper. BAN, man, I'll tell you. All right. Yeah, and I recognize that phrases like BAN and DAN kind of might be some self-hate kind of things, but, it is what it is. This is actually circulating in the Nigerian community, right? How we beheaded girl for money ritual by suspect. Okay? All right, so you can't understand. I can't understand it. Yeah, basically the story here is that, some people believe that they're just selling body parts of living people. They're just selling body parts of living people and calling it money ritual. I do not know. I also don't care. That's just, that's just BAN stuff. Like, this is the people in your community. This is why I talk about the young burning down that thing. But this is like when you don't have jobs, because, like I said, you go to the hood, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You killing folk to sell drugs to the folk there. You're destroying other people because That's what it is. So this is it. It says these three boys, and I really got to start. I started my son off on pronouncing African names. It's hard. I've been American centered for a minute. Three boys. Aladende, 17 years. Abdul Gufar Lukman, 19 years. And Mustaqim Balagon, 20 years. By the way, I feel like some of these names don't they kind of seem a little Arabic though? Real talk. But anyway, have been arrested for killing a young girl and cutting off her head for a money ritual in Oke Erigba area of Obiakuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. And he's like, money ritual at 17? What is the world turning to, right? But again, these are BANs. Straight up BANs. I mean, sure, you're going to say they're 17, 19, 20. How could they be BANs at that age? Well, I mean, they cut up a woman. They cut up a little girl. One of them, I think it was like the girls, like they were like, it was one of their boyfriends or something. I mean, like she was one of their girlfriends or whatever, right? I'm going to show you a little more. I know some of you not. Oh, yeah, this might be. By the way, if you squeamish, well, actually not. If you squeamish, that's already like, that's not a good thing. So don't even be it. But although I don't think I'm going to show you any body parts. This is them walking. These men were caught with a sack containing a girl's hand and legs. It's still happening. Oh, and see, you praying to some other people, right? Why choose ritual way? Now somebody says that what they did was they, like I said, they might be selling the body parts. Like the priest might be like, oh, if you bring me this girl, then I'm gonna think, but he probably just selling it. Organs, but again, and I think this might be the last one. I don't think anything is too graphic, if there's any graphics at all. Oh yeah. So that's what I'm saying. This is the BAN. This is where I found it. Somebody was like, doctrine, Doreme is not for civil servants. Men, if you get no money, hide your face. Women, I cannot date a man that does not earn above 500K. Parents, are you not seeing your mates? Your friends just bought car for his parents. Pastors, poverty is a curse. Pray against the spirit of poverty. Church, the front row seat is for people that contribute to church building. Landlords, self-contained apartment is renting at 500,000 naira. Economy, minimum wage is 30,000 naira. Take it or leave it. 41% of you will be unemployed. And government, we know fit pay this 30K naira self. All of us united in outrage will later ask, why are young men and women doing all these atrocities for money? The lies, the hypocrisy, the insensitivity. So, I remember organic African paradigm kind of said this was, the truth. Because, brothers really looking into Africa and focusing on it. But I'm going to say this. If you in Africa and you talking about, hey, the youth have justification for cutting up a little girl and all that kind of stuff, that's BAN. That's BAN. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about our good brother, who's theorizing and saying we got to change this situation. I'm talking about people there who, again, like I said, we see the same thing that Malcolm X was talking about on the continent, right? Like, and it don't matter what country you say, because like the brother was from Kenya, I thought he was from Nigeria, where it's like the pastor, where it's like everybody go to church. Everybody got a pastor. Everybody got a church, right? They're listening to the pastor. They're going to the church, but they're not building the factory. You understand? And the thing is that collective economics is easier when the area is poor. You know what I mean? It's harder for an African American to build a factory in America than it is for an African to build a factory in Africa. A continental African to build a factory in Africa. Because it's going to be cheaper when you collect your wealth. And the thing is this, that you can collect your wealth very easily because that's what the church does. The pastor's always living pretty good. And I broke this down for you guys in one of my other speeches where it was like 10% of your income. Again, if you got 10 people putting 10% of their income, right? Then you got the average income coming in. Okay, so let's say you got 40,000 people. No, sorry, you got 10 people, $40,000 a year, right? All of them giving 10%, then suddenly that's another $40,000 collected. And when it comes to churches, particularly in America, it's tax free. I don't know if it's tax free in other countries, but it's tax free in America, right? Clean $40,000 to this pastor. Now you got a congregation of 30 people, right? That's 3 times as much as 10. So then you get the 3 times the average. Okay? So that's an easy 120,000 done for 30 people. If it's an average of 40,000, it doesn't matter what the average is. If the average is 20,000, I don't care. Point is, if the average is 20,000, then 10 people give you 20,000, and 3 people give you 60,000. So with 30 people, you're making 3 times as much as the average. 50 people, 5 times as much. You know the math is clear. All right. That's what all collective economics is. See what government. See what the reason why the government's always going to be richer than you, because the government collects 30%, or the government collects 20%. But the reason why the church is always going to be richer than you is because the church collects 10%, and they got a big congregation. And all you need to do is, and I told you, all you need to do is you need to sit down and organize and collect your 10%. Give your 10% to some sort of organization, and that will make something happen. But instead of doing that, you're sitting on your ass talking about, oh, the youth are justified in cutting up kids. You paying the church, saying that the youth is justified to pay the kids. Because the thing is, you could afford it. You could afford to put 10% because you do it with the church. You could afford to put 30% because you do it with the government. But then when you're supposed to organize, you don't. You don't put nothing. All you say is the youth is justified in cut up a little girl. Or you condemn the kid and say, hey, why are you doing that? That's the BAN right there. I mean, later on, I'm going to read the Ultimatus quote where you got to be a part of a black organization, or you part of the problem. But this is why. You're part of the problem. You go to church and then you letting people cut up people, and you talk about, oh, it's good, or you talking about it's bad. No, organize. That's it. I ain't got nothing to say about that. We're going to go back to the chat. Tanzan says, oh, okay, haha. Jagan says, ABA, I just stole that thing. I think I stole that from Shaka Ra. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. I don't know if I made it up or if Shaka Ra made it up. Real talk. I don't even know. Lero says, no excuse for murder like that. That's just wild. Yeah, I mean, look, man. We making excuses. And not just that. It's like, real talk, it's so easy to organize. I mean, I don't know. And I'm not even going to say Shaka Ra made it up. I don't even know who made it up. I feel like it's just one of those things that just happened, that people just started saying. But Kofi says, exactly, a Scotty behavior. Yeah. Learning Curve says, rugged individualism works to our detriment. We believe we can do it alone, and then we go to church asking their Jesus to do it, and don't do anything for just us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't do nothing for, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that was Richard Pryor was like, you go to justice, and it's just us, something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's a BAN, BAN right there. We're gonna see what the next one is. This shit. This is just one of them motherfuckers. Like I tried not to curse. I try not to use BAN, but this is BAN right here. This is it. But we're gonna first go into this is the racist ontological person. But first we're gonna touch on Huey Newton. So Huey Newton is gonna explain to you, and I want to highlight something inside of his explanation. Okay, so we're gonna go to page 23 of the book. The Pro-Black Compendium. And by the way, I do believe the Book of Power is my better book. But if you're interested in this book, like I said, you can purchase it as well. Help a brother out. Help me with whatever I need to be helped with. Whatever money can do for me. Anyway, but look at it. So this is Huey Newton says any unarmed people are slaves and are subject to slavery at any given moment. And here's the thing I want you to focus on with Huey Newton. Huey Newton does not say any black people or any African people. He says any unarmed people are slaves or are subject to slavery at any given moment. Right? It's not specific to black folk. right? And it doesn't exclude black folk. Okay? If you are unarmed, you are subject to slavery at any given moment if you're not a damn slave already. And I shouldn't say damn slave, but you get what I'm saying. Okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to see what this BAN right here is talking about. Right? Let me see if, let me see how, this just a little, the transition is a little bit advanced. Let's see if I could open up these pages. Anyway, but how y'all feeling though? Y'all let me know how y'all feeling. All right. I like this. I like this series. I like this series. It's a nice series because just the content creates itself. This right here. Look at this right here. Race is not an ontobiological category. It is a fungible, malleable, and contingent social and cultural category that relies on the reproduction of ascriptive difference to the benefit of regimes of accumulation, hierarchy, and violence over time. Thread on sources. The first entire look here, man. Shut the front door. Yeah. I know some of y'all man. I don't know. Is this really a BAN? Yes, this is a BAN. Okay. The issue with us as a people is this. Okay, let's say race isn't real. Let's say race is not real. The important thing is, are you armed? Are you armed and dangerous? We saw the display earlier, right? Nobody's going to say, hey, the police are dangerous because they're white. The police are dangerous because they're, blah, blah. The thing that the police showed you was that if at any moment's notice, they will line up, even in the snow, 10,000 deep. That's why they're in charge. That's why they're in charge. Because, see, when it's snowing, you huddle up next to a heater or some shit that you ain't even build. And when it's snowing for them, they outside mourning the death of somebody who was ambushed. Saying, look, we're going to ambush the next motherfucker. Just racist and not ontological or biological. No, you're going to be under somebody's boot as long as you are weaker than them and they feel like it. I should have read the other one, the Marcus Garvey quote, where Marcus Garvey says, but I read it to y'all last week. But that's just how important it is, right? Where he says, look, injustice in man, I think it's actually the Pro-Black Compendium too, which is partly why I memorized it, because, before I had the Pro-Black Compendium, like I said, I used to do this in a group, like a little pamphlet we just hang around. But let's see if, yeah, all right, so I'm going to bring it up for you. This is page 19 of the Pro-Black Compendium. Pro-Black Compendium, yeah. One of the more important quotes. The only protection against injustice in man is power, physical, financial, and scientific. This talking about, hey, race isn't really real. It's consistent. It's constantly changing. Sometimes the Irish were considered this. Sometimes the British were considered that. Sometimes the Arab was that's stupid. You being a BAN, you wasted my damn time. You wasting your intellect. Okay, you're wasting your intelligence. They're going to blow your brains out. Even if you were white, as long as you can't organize for power, you have no proximity to power, you will be stepped on, stomped on. That's what it really means. Talking about some ontological or ontobiological. It's not a real fact. You might not like me because I'm black, but your dislike of my blackness is just your projection of an incorrect idea. Shut the fuck up. You understand? It's a fungible, malleable, and contingent social and cultural category. Shut up! No! I want y'all to understand, and not that I totally disagree. I don't even know if I disagree or not, because I don't know what the fuck you're saying. But it's not that I disagree. I understand that you have to look into nationalism first and foremost. You have to look into nations first and foremost. Okay? At the end of the day, it's all about nation. England does not do things for Germany. before it does for England. Okay, England don't even do things for Ireland before it does for England. Okay, nation is first. You know, the Americans may be like, hey, you know what? We don't like these black folk. That's fine. Because as far as they're concerned, the nation was not built for black folk. The nation was built on black folk. Like, it wasn't built for black folk. You know what I'm saying? Like when Tariq says foundation of black Americans, he should have just said the foundation or the foundation. You know? Like, I don't know. But the point is that it wasn't built for you. You know? And I mean, of course, I'm just biting off of Malcolm X, who said we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. But the point being, you know, you got to realize that, yeah, that this is not... This whole coming at this white boy, trying to come at him intellectually, come at him on some level and obfuscate the point. You missing what Huey Newton said. You unarmed. You can't organize anybody. You know, you read the Book of Power, matter of fact, there's this one speech. Martin Delany is talking to the formerly enslaved Africans. Okay? This is actually, I don't know why y'all don't have the Book of Power, honestly. Because this was a rare document. Rare document in the sense of, you know, I found it, it's online, like maybe like one source of it's online. And, yeah, it's like, it was like hidden for a minute. You know, like nobody really had a copy. But this white boy goes in and he's spying on Martin Delany. Spying on Martin Delany to figure out what Martin Delany is saying. And Martin Delany's in front of a group of, you know, just recently emancipated Africans. And he's like, you know, the only thing that's going to keep you safe in America are those 20,000 Union soldiers. As long as we have those 20,000 Union soldiers, the black Union soldiers. As long as we have those 20,000 soldiers, nothing's gonna go wrong with us, right? But you know, hint, hint. Do you have those 20,000 soldiers? You understand? See, the white boy did that gathering, and I wish I could have shown you all the video, but I guess it was taken down. But the white boy did that gathering to say, hey, look, I got 10,000 soldiers. And these are not even soldiers. They got more soldiers. They got real soldiers. But they're like, we got 10,000 overseers. That's why you stay in slavery. And yeah, I said overseers. You go listen to Sound of the Police. You know? It goes overseer, 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 officer. I might as well start. Let me continue. Yeah, officer from overseer. You need a little clarity? Check the similarities. The overseer rode around the plantation. The officer is on patrol and not in nation. The overseer could stop you what you're doing. The officer could pull you over just when he's pursuing. The overseer had the right to get ill, and if you fought back, the overseer had the right to kill. The officer has the right to arrest, and if you fight back, he puts a hole in your chest. They both ride. All right, but you get it. I don't know if I'll break a copyright, so I'm not going to do that. But the point is that, go listen to the Sound of the Police. And you're going to hear the comparison between that was the whole comparison. I'm not going to cap. But you're going to hear it. And be like, you know what? You're right. If you show, we got 10,000 overseers who could line up in the middle of the snow. You already know who the slaves are. The overseers are right there. But anyway, I just did that for Lero. I know Lero. Go hate on me. Hey, she hate on me right now. All right. Anyway, let me see the chat. Tanzan, 5 days for working, 1 day for partying, and 1 day that's supposed to be for thinking and solving problems is set aside for praise and worship. Yeah. HPN. What is HPN? EL says 100. Then I see 2 messages retracted. Jigan says, excellent. TPBP has his guns blazing early in the episode. Pro-black. Oh, yeah. Jikan says, America does first for Israel. Yeah, I mean, look, America does, I would say second for Israel. I would say it does first for America. But yeah, a part of the reason why it even does for Israel is because that, like, imagine this, right? If America did not do for Israel, right, that whole region is Arab. You know, you connected North Africa with the Arabian Peninsula. And you given their historic enemies, the people who were their enemies during the Crusade, right? you've given their historic enemies now an even bigger territory and an even bigger monopoly. You see what I'm saying? So you break that shit up. It's classic divide and conquer. It's classic divide and conquer. And you know, that's the thing that we have to realize too, is that what you I remember somebody was telling me about the former Soviet Union, boasting about, like, they make a movie about how they go into Africa and they do some heroic shit, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like, if you went into Africa as a soldier, that's like, a soldier is a good, it's normally it's a good occupation. But then they're like, oh well, but they're doing it for their own interest. And it's like, well, of course. I mean, if you're putting your life on the line, you should have some sort of interest in it. So America is gonna have some sort of interest in destabilizing the Middle East. You know what I mean? Oh, HB and Hugh P. Newman. Yeah. Nah, I was thinking head Negro in charge, HNIC. I was like, we got a lot of acronyms, don't we? All right. I actually didn't even know what TBP was for a minute. I was like, what? TBPP? All right, Bit of Medicine Podcast? What are you talking about? What is it? Pro-Black Perspective. I got you. But all right. But yeah, y'all got me. Y'all got me. But yeah, this racist about, like, I know some of y'all be like, that's not, like, me personally, I don't like academics. Like, actually in the Pro-Black Compendium, it's not in the free edition, but in the Pro-Black Compendium, I talk about the 4 types of black folk, the 4 stages of consciousness, and I just don't like I call them the astute. I don't like the academics. I know a lot of people think I'm an academic, but I just don't like that race is ontological, biological. Like, that's some dumb shit. Like, real talk. Like, why are you talking like that? There's this sister, in fact, I think she's in this right here. Her name is Ruth Shays. She was just a regular worker, and she's like, why are you trying to, like, I tell you, I had a book of African American quotes, and she's like, if you could explain something in 4 words, then why explain it in 30? Like, if you could explain it in 4 words, why are you explaining it in 30? And she's like, and you being able to explain it in 30 words does not make you smarter than me. Like, she was a nice lady. She was an inspiration. But like real talk, it's like it's just so corny. It's like you just making it corny. It's just some BAN stuff. And then it's like, the whole premise was what? Like, what is the basis of all this? Like, what are you even trying to say? Oh, well, once upon a time, they mistreated their own people. Like, so what? Like, the reason why they're in charge right now is because the state is the monopoly on violence. This is, like, basic, even Marxism, I guess, right? But, like, basic. It's just the state has the violence. And when you have the violence, you can get whatever you want done. And this is, like, even on an interpersonal level. And like, all of us even know this, where somebody's like, hey, would you do, like for instance, if somebody wanted money from me, right? Like, they're like, hey, like, for instance, this guy yesterday, I was walking, I was cold, I didn't have my coat, I barely have my coat, but whatever. It's cold, it's freezing, I'm walking, this dude says, hey, can you give me $1? I'm in a rush, though. So I was like, yeah, no, right? No. Now, if the same guy asked me with a gun to my head, it's like, yeah, sure, I got $1 for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or the same guy, like, sucker punches me in the back of my head, and I collapse, and he's like, give me $1. It's like, yeah, sure, dude, take whatever you want. Like, that's violence. Violence solves problems, and this happens it happens on a state level, too. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's like some pusillanimous. I mean, it might sound like it's some BAN stuff on my part, but like, real talk, no. I'm just letting you know that, yeah, you gotta command violence. And if you don't command violence, you're being commanded by it. When you talk about, because one of the jokes that some of these comedians would talk about was that, you ask a black man, you name a crime to a black man, and he tells you how much time you can possibly get for it. He'd be like, oh, that's like a 3 to 5. It's like a 5 to 7 years or whatever, right? But like, yeah, the criminal justice system, if you will, the justice system, right, or their criminal justice system is just about exacting violence on people who stray from the legal system or from their social order. And so, realistically speaking, it don't matter what the race is. It's about who is going to enforce that code. You understand? It's about who's going to control the violence in the community. And I mean, obviously, there's like financial consequences that their legal system has on us too. But I'm just saying, like, this whole racism, like, stop trying to study it. Don't try to understand it. Just understand that either you get into the position where you have that proximity to power or that control over violence, or shut up. This is why I tell y'all, just leave. Because here's another thing too. You might be like, well, I could stay and I could just have the violence over this white boy. This guy is not going to help you. He's not going to help you. Anytime this black studies scholar and political theorist and whatever, he's not going to help you. A lot of these, like I told you, half of the people this week are BANs. They're not going to help you. And you're going to end up like old boy. You know what I'm saying? You're just going to end up being captured. When you could have been free elsewhere and useful elsewhere, you're just going to end up being captured. And then possibly writing articles about, what the real social order and the real... Come on. So this is another BAN. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure Lerdo's not going to like this one. But this is a BAN. This is dancing for delivery. This is a BAN. This is the trouble with us as a people. And it's like, it's almost a cut at, ABA... but this is we're going to first go to Steve Biko, page 16. Steve Biko says, not only are whites kicking us, they are telling us to react to how to being kicked. Telling us how to react to being kicked, okay? That's a thing, right? Not only are whites kicking us, they're telling us how to react. I'm going to show you this. This is just a straight up BAN. I mean, Lero, people like, some of y'all like the working class, so y'all not gonna agree with this. This is some white boy I saw. Some white boy put up this. Look at this. Look at this shit. Oh my gosh. So this white person makes a joke. Love this. Make my underpaid. I'll give you the context right here. The video is, I put a sign asking drivers to dance. This guy was awesome. Anyone know his name? What kind of BAN shit is this? You a delivery driver. This is an Amazon driver or something like that, right? Amazon's a delivery service in America, right? And it's probably like one of the bigger websites on the planet, honestly. But Amazon's a delivery website, right? And so the driver, there's a sign left out for the driver saying, hey, could you dance for the camera? And he gonna go bust a move. Now, I don't got the video of him busting a move. This is the white person complaining. Then there's another white person, I guess, complaining too. But it's like, love this. Make my underpaid Amazon driver dance and then record it with my personal internet-connected surveillance device and put it on social media, stage of capitalism, right? So they're just whining about... But white people complain about capitalism is just the dumbest thing, but, It's like, it's your fucking system. Shut up, right? And it's doing good for you. Shut the fuck up. I don't mean to curse, but you guys know what I'm saying. This is the next person. This is, I ask Amazon drivers about this trend all the time and was told that when workers see these signs, a lot of them feel forced to dance, among other humiliating requests, so that customers don't leave bad reviews. Everything at Amazon is measured to be punitive. Stop this, right? And it's like, what are you fucking talking? Like that's called pathetic. Somebody else had. Sorry, I think I might have commented on this just to see. Capitalism is great, isn't it? Like, shut up, comrade. All right, but anyway, let me see what I said. Because sometimes I just comment on it because I'm like, maybe I'll read that comment later. Sometimes I just comment on it so that I could, remember it. Yeah, I'd have to go through my own page to find it, but yeah, it's buried somewhere. I thought that they would like at least put my thing on the top, but it's whatever. Yeah, but yeah, so much like it's like somebody else had something where it was like, oh, the request was write down thank you for keeping me employed while I'm during this pandemic. Like they told the driver or whatever, or the delivery person to say into a mic, thank you for keeping me employed. Like, what kind of stupid shit is that? Like, why would you even... Just BAN shit. No disrespect. I know y'all might be like, hey, it's just a worker and they're the working class and they're blah, blah, blah. But like, Yeah. No, the video don't play. The video don't play. The video don't play. So I can't. Like I didn't see the video myself, but it's probably some dumb shit. Probably some dabs and stuff. You know, like probably the Millie Rock or something. You know, I don't know what you think you're doing the militant rock, funny that stuff. But it's like, yeah, that's some BAN stuff. Like these people talking about they gonna like you gonna have some revolution with these cats. Nah, you ain't. These are BANs. These BANs is the enemy within. And I mean, there's a lot of them. Cause right here is like already you crying to this white boy, this tech writer. Hey, they make me dance when I deliver packages. Like, no, they don't. And I don't even know anybody who gives a review to a delivery person. Like, my delivery person just leaves stuff on the door. That's it. You know? Anyway, thanks for that, JCAD. I was wondering about that one. That's Kofi said that. Walter Wilder says that's what Dr. Michael Dyson does that. Does what? Well, I'm about to go into Michael Dyson. Now, he's on the mangina thing right there. But hey, Lero says, why call me out, though? I mean, Lero, you know why I call you out. Anyway, Tanzan says, captured and made to write articles. Sounds like that movie with the crazy lady, Kathy Bates. Kofi said, play the video. And Learning Curve says, I saw one that said, thank you for keeping me employed. Shaking my day. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, kind of like, if you do that, you just a BAN. If you do that, you just a BAN. Learning Curve says, do you have passive money? No. Oh, you work for your money? Then you are the working class, right? Yeah, pretty much. Everybody who's working for money, working for class. And it's like, yeah, I'm saying, like, a lot of people working class, but that's the thing. It's like, you got to also have some dignity. Because the thing is this, that you really do not have to dance before a camera at your delivery service. But if you doing that, right, if you're afraid of punitive damages because you're not dancing, then you just pusillanimous. Pusillanimous is short for pussy. No disrespect to pussy, because pussy's good. But you just I'm sorry, pusillanimous is long for pussy. but no, it just means cowardly. This is a nice word though, right? All right, but anyway, but yeah, but that's it. Like you just a punk. You just a BAN. Cause ain't no way you gonna see me dancing. You know? And I mean, like, I remember there was this video, I don't know how it came anyway, there's this video of this sister who was dancing at her work function. And she was throwing down, she was throwing down for some reason. And that was a little too much, honestly. Especially with a bunch of white people. But like, you ain't dancing for a camera and you a dude? Nah, boss. Like, that's some old BAN. I gotta get my, I gotta get these dollars. Nah. Because it don't even make any sense. It don't even add up. You won't getting paid more. You ain't even gonna get paid less if you don't dance. But anyway, those are the BANs. Obviously, I added this article. I told y'all about that was a BAN move. So the next up is the ABA. ABA is here. We're gonna go to page 19 of the pro-black compendium, right? And if y'all are wondering, was the pro-black perspective named after the pro-black compendium? You don't gotta wonder that much. Of course it was. Of course it was. You can hear it in the intro. Author of Zubiri and the pro-black compendium. All right, so page 19. And this is automatic. So he says, a black person who is not a member of a black-led and black-financed organization is part of the problem and not part of the solution. Okay? A black person who is not a member of a black-led and black-financed organization is part of the problem and not a part of the solution. That's Alden Maddox Jr. Met this brother. I was organizing under him, or he was organizing us. You gotta be a member. If you're not the leader of an organization, then be the member of an organization. And let that organization be black-led and black-financed. And if you're not a member of that organization and you're not leading, because the leader will be the member too, right? If you're not a member of that organization, you're actually part of the problem. And you're not a part of the solution. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. I told you how you could just, like the church comes up with money everywhere. I asked the sister, like I said, I was in Ghana. I was like, how the pastor living? She said, the pastor living good. She don't, and she's a little girl, so she's like, I don't know why. I'm like, you dumbass, because your parents is giving them 10%. When you give out 10%, that's why your pastor's living good. Because if you can survive on what you making, right, and you have a congregation of even 10 people, then the pastor can survive on what you making. Because now he's making more money than you, because you got 90% of your income, and he got 100%. You understand? Or even because he's not getting taxed and you getting taxed, you living on 70%, right? And he living on 100%. He's getting more money from you from just 10 people. And of course, I saw their church. Church had like 30 people outside. They wasn't even in the building. You know what I'm saying? So he living high on the hog. Now, of course, he got to pay his staff and all that kind of stuff if he does, if they're not volunteering. But the point being, yeah, they live in, and all you have to do, I told y'all, just build a center, build a community center, and find a way to collect 10% too. You know, if you could collect 5%, that would be good too. If you got a lot of people, but if you could collect 10%, if you could find a way, and I'm not saying trick people with, you know, oh well, when you die, you go, yeah, no, but if you could find a way to get 10% from people, that's what. That's what you're like right now. If you in the West or wherever you are, and you thinking, what's my next move, right? You should be thinking, how can I get 10%? You understand? How can I get a weekly or monthly donation of 10%? Okay, that's all you gotta be thinking about. That's all you gotta be thinking about. Because we have it. You know, like I said, even if you make $20,000 a year, right? 10% is $2,000, right? And I mean, not too many people in America just making $20,000 a year, but even so, that's $2,000, which is, and you gotta think about this. So my book is $50, right? Some of y'all not even buying it, but a lot of black people are not gonna buy it. But a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have $50. You know, I don't got $50, but you got $2,000, even if you poor in America. Right? Because 20,000 is probably poor in America. Even if you poor in America, you got $2,000 for the church. So all I'm saying is that you got to just figure out a way. You get that 10%. Now, I'm not saying do no church thing, but you got that 10%, then, you know, it is what it is, right? Just find a way. Because it's getting to that point where we going to be in a bad predicament for a long time. It's getting to that point. It's been at that point. You know, things are not getting better. But anyway, let's see what this article was. This is quite a few stuff, but this is basically the I should have told y'all, PFIR endorsement. So the PFIR is called the Progressives for Immigration Reform. Okay? So the PFIR, so this is basically, the whole context of this is that it's a white organization. It's not a black finance organization. It says, look at what hashtag ADOS founder, hashtag Yvette Carnell's friends over at hashtag PFIR are doing, y'all. We still pretending this isn't anything other than digital gerrymandering. Now, digital gerrymandering, that's, I don't know what that was about, but right here, PFIR hosting a space, sharing a space by this dude. If y'all recognize this dude, this is the dude who did that 20,000 people space before about, I don't remember, but something about black immigrants go away or something like that, right? But he does this new space where he's like, Pan-African is dead, RIP sunset, January 26, 2022, and the PFIR are sharing it. Okay? So now you're saying to yourself, well, what is the PFIR, right? And if you guys were on my space before, y'all know that I read a lot of JAM stuff, JAM stuff. But let me see if I could. Where's the link? Oh yeah, go here. Sometimes it's just confusing, right? Let's see. You go here, and you got Dwayne Amawali reposted this. Dwayne Amawali is always on these AWS people, but he says somehow I don't think it's coincidental that Yvette worked as a board member of PFIR, and now PFIR suddenly decided to get behind her campaign to kill Pan-Africanism. Yeah. So imagine that. She's a board member of Progressives for Immigration Reform, right? I'm going to give y'all a little more, just really quickly. I'm trying to do this really quickly, all right? This is the ABA, the Anything But Africans. Let's see if this... People's Champ. A lot of people were commenting on this. Let's see. This is People's Champ. He says, the source and foundation of ADOS, the PFIR, an ad from 2012, which was created to garner support from Africans in America versus immigrants. They're basically hating on Obama for black people suffering or something, and more immigrant workers coming in.
Us
this
still
audio
can't find jobs. He wants amnesty for millions of illegal aliens who will take jobs.
All right. So Yvette Carnell would then use this model to attack continental Africans and Africans in the West Indies. So basically, PFIR was like, oh, we don't want Obama to be reelected, and we're going to try to make Africans in America dislike immigrants, right? And obviously also African immigrants, but basically immigrants and go against immigration. But that's what it is. See what I'm saying? So they had this ad back in 2012. You know, money behind it. Okay? White folk were like, hey, we could use this. You know, we get this, you know, this white loving, more than likely, you know, whatever. We could get this white lover to push our agenda. And they did. Walter Wilder wrote down, Dr. Dyson uses big words for simple situations and loves white attention, i.e. Bill Maher. Oh, yeah, him and Cornel West. I tell you, Cornel West is probably the reason why I even decided, let me go into this black movement. Because this guy, how is he popular? Right? If he could be popular, then maybe I should be. But of course, that never happened. But still. Anyway. But yeah, so this is an ad. Like I said, you guys could check out, like, this document in front of you. I think it's in the description below. So it's like, if you wanted to listen to that ad for whatever reason, you can go listen to it. I mean, it's just the ad's right there. Right? And the link's all in the description. This is the PFIR. By the way, I forgot. Somebody last week said they wanted that math thing. No, I told her I wrote a math article. I put it in the comments in the last post. So if you go back and you check it out, you can see the SAT math in the comments. All right. So look at this. So Jam wrote down, and this is why they always attack black and brown immigrants, but never white European immigrants. They want us to think the threat is other black people instead of focus on white supremacy. She does a thread on ADOS going against whatever. Progressive for Immigration Reform was part of Tantan Network. John Tantan was a white supremacist that wanted to keep USA as white as possible. They were seeking black support, but ADOS FBA, they found their entry point. Now they're celebrating, right? So Progressive for Immigrant Reform.org says ADOS galvanized over immigration and reparations, blah, blah, blah. There all is no short of immigration topics, blah, blah, blah. So there's white people behind it. And so they're like, your whole thread is pure disinformation. If you have any evidence of anything you have said in this thread, come and happily debate us, right? But yeah, they're active. And so I think the reason why I even showed you this was just to click on them and let y'all know who they were. This is it. It's like a white organization. It's a white organization pushing this ADOS stuff, pushing this FBA stuff, right? And we fall on hook, line, and sinker. They get in there and see, these people can actually pass laws. You understand? See, a lot of white folk talking shit, they can't do nothing. A lot of black folk talking shit, they can't do nothing. These people could actually pass laws. They actually could put forward candidates to pass their laws. And we fall on hook, line, and sinker. Kofi appreciates the share on PFIR. I think there might be like another post here. Let me see. The Verge. What is this? Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, so this is actually Learning Curve showed me this. This is, I just added this recently. It's really not too related. So Learning Curve shows this. Basically, this is back in October 13th. Twitter is launching a Spaces Accelerator program to play live audio creators, right? So that's another thing you're not even picking up on, right? I just thought I'd have to add this. They paying people a stipend, $2,500 a month, plus $500 in ads to promote their spaces. You understand? And apparently that's what Clubhouse did, and why Clubhouse would seem like it was popping off at one point, because Clubhouse was paying people $5,000 a month. You know? But then after the program, the pilot program dropped off, they stopped paying, and that's why Clubhouse fell off. But you see, when you get manipulated by all these spaces, the reason being is because there's a lot of money behind it. You know? Again, if you're not part of a black-led, black-financed organization, you probably are part of a few white-led, white-financed organizations. Remember, Twitter is a white-led, white-financed organization. Okay? Your JOB is a white-financed. You just over broke is a white-financed, white-led organization. America is a white-financed, white-led organization. And this is again why I go back to nationalism. Nationalism is the highest form of organization. A nation is the highest form of organization. Even if you're an organization, another man's nation, you know, you still not gonna have the prowess that the nation has, and you still probably giving money to the nation. You know, like I said, even if you're giving 10% to a black organization in the West, you're still giving 30% to the other organization, and they also got more people in the nation, so the nation could always fight you. Now it's different if you say you in an African nation, right, and you're giving 30% to that African nation, and although sometimes the taxes are even not that high, but you're giving 10%, you're giving 30% to the African nation. Well, that's an African nation that's going to be good with you. As long as you find the right nation that's right with your organization, then you good. You just added to your money. You understand? Because see, white people help out white nation helps out the white organizations. America helps out the PFIR. You understand? But y'all not listening. Some of y'all not listening. This right here is, let's see, Superior West. This is the ABA. So we're gonna go to page 23 of the Pro Black Compendium, and don't worry, we passed halfway. All right, this is the 7th one. There's only 10. We passed halfway. We're gonna go to page 23 on routed. Just a general rule of warfare. So all these quotes are black except for a handful, right? The handful are the general rules of warfare, because I said to myself, y'all need to know about warfare if nothing else. So check this out. It says, whoever pursues a routed enemy in a disorganized manner does nothing but become vanquished from having been a victor. Okay, if you pursue somebody who lost to you, but you break rank, you break organization, you're no longer that organized force that can beat them, and then you will become vanquished, even though you were a victor before. Okay? So what I mean is this. If 10 of you fight 7 people, right? And you win, and the 7 people decide to run, and you guys all run individually. Like, let's say you run in front of the group, and you one person, right? Now you 1 against 7, and you dead. You understand? Or you 3 against 7. Or no, better yet, you 4 against 7. 4 you dead. Now it's 6 of you against 7. 6 of you dead. You done messed up. So you gotta stay organized. You gotta keep under organization. That's what the whole the police thing was about. The police, 10,000 of them. See, if 10,000 of them said, you know what, we quitting the force, right? Then they're not gonna be able to keep law and order the same way, or their law and order the same way. You think if they all quit the force that they're gonna be able to keep the same? No. You gotta stay organized. So anyway, we'll go to this. This is partly BAN. I'm not going to hold y'all. This is partly BAN. I'm not going to hold y'all. This is like a whole bumble clap right here. I'm actually tight. I'm even showing you guys this. Shoot. Oh, okay. So, see, I had the routed on the top. It copied to, I mean, you probably could see it if you saw. Yeah, it copied 2 of them, see? So this person, So they say basically, this is a demonstration of how black folk were being sold in America. And one of them is called an African. No, two of them are called African Negroes, I think. No. No, I guess this one is called African. No, two of them. African Negro, right? This is called an American Negro. This is called a Creole Negro. And, tea master and laborer. This dude's also 64 years old. I guess this one's only 44 years old or whatever, right? So it's 49. This one's American, another American Negro, $2, whatever, right? Look at this. These people knew the difference between stop playing. The jig is up. Big pressure is being applied. Now, of course, this is kind of dumb, but all right. Notice how all the American Negroes, the African Negroes, cheaper than the American ones. That's because all the American ones knew more about the land and offered more value. It's not rocket science. Can you imagine that? Now, I guess it's not even true per se, but it's not even true. But like what? Like what? And here's the thing too. It's like you in ABA if you're saying that you're a descendant of American slavery in a sense, right? Or whatever, right? This African Negro, right, Mercury, right, would still be one of your ancestors. Or would still be, or his descendants would still be the descendant of American slavery. So it's just like, what are you talking about? Like it's BAN, it's giving BAN, but this is definitely an ABA. Because it seems like they're almost saying we're not even, because like if you look at 100% melanated copper colored engine from Turtle Island, like. This is the enemies within, guys. This is the enemy within. Oh, my fault. Damn. Harsh Reality. Shout out to Harsh Reality. He said, I didn't show the screen. Yeah, shout out to Harsh Reality. And of course, Kofi said it too. It's just too much. You know what I mean? It was just too much. Kofi says, you can't see. It was just too much. But yeah, this person right here, they like, look at this, African Negro. I guess he was selling for $100, I guess, right? This African Negro was selling for $500. Of course, there was an American Negro selling for $300, but whatever. But he was also like 64. And probably unskilled if you were to compare him to. But it's like, like, this is what they were doing. And right here, I'll read it to you guys again. Notice how all the African Negroes cheaper than the American ones. That's because the American ones knew more about the land and offered more value. It's not rocket science. And you see, this is the description: 100% melanated, copper-colored engine from Turtle Island. Like this is an ABA. It's really a BA. Like it's disgraceful. Because again, like I said, this would be the ancestor of like if you were for real saying descendants of American slavery or who was entitled to reparations in a sense. If that's your whole argument, your whole premise, right? This person's descendants would be entitled. But now you're making it seem like, oh look, there's the African Negro and the American Negro. And we're different. And we're worth more. And I mean, like I said, you could also do like a cost analysis of what the skills were. Because some people were blacksmiths, some people weren't. Some people were laborers, some people weren't. You 64-year-old laborer, you're not going to compare them to even a 63-year-old boss driver, field boss or driver. But yeah, this is yeah, this is just bad. Like, this is just sad. This is the ABA stuff. And of course, apologies for not sharing the screen. But yeah, this is it. Some ABA stuff. Let me see the comments again. Jakad says the ADOS FBA premise is a mess. The argument that our lives would be better but for immigration is short-sighted. You live under white domination and white supremacy and immigration phase is an issue. Yeah, I mean, you're not going, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, white supremacy, if we know it to be, like, you're probably not going to end it anytime soon. And if you do end it, it's probably not going to be for us, because, the population difference. But yeah, I mean, it's just silly. Like I said, the problem with our areas is the lack of employment, the lack of factories in a sense, right? But the factories are going abroad and everybody's feeling it. Everybody's feeling it. America used to be the industrial capital of the world, right? Now that's going to China. Now India's catching up. Now so on and so forth. And because it's no longer that industrial capital, it's not like there's that much money to go around. And the thing is this, that the black immigrant does not really do that well compared to other immigrant groups. Every immigrant group does better than their racial counterpart because they come from a different class and they're not being compared to the whole population. Like it's basically a middle class coming in and being compared to the whole population. The middle class is going to do better than the average. The middle class is going to do better than the average. That's why they're called the middle class. That's just it. Lero says, how are you reminiscent on being a more expensive slave? Heavy on the BAN. You know it. Like, that's just like, what kind of, like, what? Like, and it's so disrespectful, so disgraceful. To be like, you was a cheap, like, you was a cheap, your ancestors were cheaper than mine. Like, what? And the thing is that it's like, they both your ancestors. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, what are you, like, what? Like, what? Anyway. Harsh Jolly Podcast says, how are we even sure these are real people? Got a theory most of these accounts are either paid or bots. Refuse to believe someone can be this dead. I wish people were understand. Like I said, I knew a woman in real life who thought she was a Native American. Like, she went to powwows and she would also sometimes wear a feather in her hat. She was the elder I tell y'all about who gave me the African American quotes book. Like a lot of people, and I'm not even gonna say it's like an American thing. Just the other day, like some black people do believe they're Jews. A lot of black people believe they're Jews. A lot of them. Some black people, what was it? What was the other thing I saw? Yeah, I mean, I met some Hebrew Israelite people. Like one of the first people when I went out to try to get people to my I think my meetings or something. One of the first people I saw was this Hebrew Israelite. He's like, hey, we already have land in Israel. And I was like, what, for real? And I looked it up. They do literally have land in Israel. Like they have like their own little city in Israel. So it's not like it's not a thing, A lot of, and then, oh yeah, that was it. Kofi, I forgot to find the reference, but Kofi showed an article where the Nation of Islam was literally teaching how black folk are like the original, like are the original Asians or something, or the original people of America, something like that. Like that's a thing. It's a real underlying belief in the not just the diaspora, even like people in Africa, the Igbo, are convinced that they're the original Jews. It's just a weird thing. Not to say that there are not, black Jews or Ethiopian Jews, because even Dr. Ben Yakinen was like, he's a Jew, So it's just a real thing, it's weird. It's just weird at this point. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they real. I'm not saying that they're not bots. But, one of the reasons why it can get this sort of, why it can get so far is because it has something in it. It has something in it. There is this, like, underlying notion. I mean, obviously, like, a lot of black people in America are just not of the opinion that they are African. In fact, when I tell y'all I was in the United African Movement, Ultimate, when I first went there, in order to like stay sitting with us or whatever, or like, if you like inquired or whatever, they sent you to the resident historian. He actually recently died, but the resident historian, actually his name is Harold, but he goes and he was talking to me and he was saying, hey, what would you do if I called you an African? I'm like, I don't care. And he's like, oh, okay, because most people, if you call them an African, that's an insult. And I was like, really? Well, I didn't say really, but I was like, okay, like, I don't care. Like, what's that got to do with me? But like, yeah, that's the situation that was like, I want to say like 10, 12 years ago, So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that, yeah, I mean, I mean, there are bot farms, obviously. There are places where you can manipulate public opinion. There are people who are getting paid. We just saw PFIR There's a lot of that stuff. But, like, a part of it is that you could also, like, the Nation of Islam had this. Like, this is what people in the Nation of Islam believed. You know? And then there's, like, so many other movements. It's like, yeah, you get, like there was enough pseudoscience and stupidity circulating in the black community that it's just not a shock. You know? Because even, like, the other day, there was a space and this dude was there and he was talking about, you got to give Tariq Nasheed his props because of Hidden Colors. And it's like, Hidden Colors was there promoting a lot of pseudoscience. You know? And I watched it with a group of, you know, I was trying to get close to this sister at the time, and I tried to, you know, watch a DVD with her, but then she had her, like, brothers with her or something. It was weird. But anyway, they were watching it. They were like, yeah, I know about this Border Hamaru thing. I know about this Japanese thing. I know about this Vietnam stuff. You know, like, yeah, it's been circulating. The idiocy been circulating. It's not even, but, like, I believe they're bots, and I believe they are paid, but I also know that there's, like, black community got a lot of idiots. Just a lot of idiots. I mean, every community does, obviously. But Lero says, no pride in slavery or being a pseudo-mongoloid. Yeah, no, that's weird. Learning Curse says, I'm not going to fight with my cousin and who is a better exploiter. We are being exploited. Exactly. Kofi says, I think some are real counters. Kofi says, it's in lighthearted banter, the Nation of Islam thing. Okay, I'll look into that. Learning Curve says, a lot of AA are mad because they were sold. They were taught to hate the African inside, right? Yeah. And then Harshiali says, seen a clubhouse room where real Native Americans was shutting down the nonsense. Who do they think the Buffalo Soldiers were killing? Who were the civilized tribes enslaving? Their cousins? Yeah, I mean, everybody know they're not the real Native Americans. I mean, no, we know they're not. But, like, I'm gonna tell y'all this, real talk. I mean, I'm a little ashamed of it, but, like, even my cousin, it's kind of like a little weird, but, like, this is a part of what being ignorant is. So, like, all right, so y'all gonna know my hair is a little bit, like, twisted, but it's, like, knotty, you know? It's knotty. It's like, you know, I don't really cut it, you know? I don't really cut it. I don't really comb it, right? It's not professionally done. It's just nature did it, right? But when I was younger, the reason why I did that was because when I was younger, like, I would comb my hair every morning. That shit hurt. You know, I don't know how y'all do that, but I would comb my hair every morning. And then people, when I get to school, my hair would just twist up automatically, just kink up. And folk would be like, you don't even comb your hair, man. You nasty. You don't even comb your hair. And I'm like, yeah, I do comb my hair. So then eventually I just stopped combing my hair. Because I was like, what's the fucking point? Like, what's the point of combing your hair? People don't even think you comb your hair, right? You know, that'll show them. But then I started seeing that my hair would twist and lock automatically. And I was like, what? That's how your natural hair grow. And I had no idea. So, like, it took me a minute. Like, I was, like, already graduating high school by the time I'm learning what the natural hairstyle or how black hair grows out of your head. Because a lot of us don't even know what our hair look like because we always cut it off. You know, from time we kids, we just cut off our hair, right? And so actually, I remember too when my cousin would tell me that she was part Native because her hair was straighter. And for a long time, I was thinking that her hair was straighter because of like this, like because she told me it was like because she had like, you know, Native ancestry or something. But this girl don't even realize that she was getting her hair straightened. You know what I'm saying? like a large part of it is that we have these beauty standards, these beauties, you know, so on and so forth, where we kind of just like mutilate ourselves. You know, I'm not gonna say we mutilate ourselves. I'm just trying to make it sound bad. But we just, you know, groom ourselves, I guess. We groom ourselves, but we groom ourselves in such a way that it kind of simulates, I think. All right, but it kind of parallels other people. And sometimes, if you're a kid particularly, you won't even know that's what you're doing. You know, so like I said, my cousin would say, yeah, she had Native blood because of that. But meanwhile, her hair was really as kinky as mine, but she never wore her hair kinky. Because of the beautification that girls do is that, you know, you're either in braids or your hair's getting flat ironed. And that's it. But you never had the kinky hairs, like, you never had the locks like anybody who locks, you know? Lero said don't mention her, so I won't say Lero. But anyway, that's just like a little side story. But yeah, a lot of people just like I'm telling you, it's not hard to believe when one of the things about Native Americans was they had high cheekbones as well, and they had straightened hair. You know what I mean? And they also had reddish skin, you know. So it's like if you felt like you were a little lighter than an African, if you felt like your features were less narrow, or you know, lighter than, you know, like somebody, you know, right on the equator, an equatorial African, right? If you felt like you were lighter, if you felt like your hair was straighter because you were straightening it, all that kind of stuff, you might feel like you were also descended from some white folk. And a lot of people believe that, but you know, the DNA test don't show it up. You know, DNA test don't show it. What were we? Oh yeah, Kofi said where it was. So I'm gonna just open up. I'm gonna just load up Discord while we go into the next one. Okay, so all right, so I guess the next one. I think the next one is just the same thing. It's just the other page. I think it's just the one I showed y'all, but I just had to make sure I showed both. Let me see if that's the case. Let me just double check. Or otherwise, he's just saying some other shit. Let's see. Yeah, same thing. All right, so we're gonna go to the next one. This is a mangina. I say a mangina is like I told you we had the 3 worst groups, and I mean I should have put BAN as one of the 3, but yeah, mangina. This is Eric Dyson again. He says Whitey can have our women. Like that's what he's saying. He's like Whitey can have our women. And so we're going to first go open up the Pro Black Compendium again. We're going to go to page 16. Like I said, you guys can download this easy. I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. So, yeah, all right. So the first one is Jonathan Bruce. And he says, look, the moment the men of any race permit the cheapening of their women, the pollution of their women, their race is doomed. For no race deserves to rise in the scale of being which does not do reverence to or respect the honor and good name of its women. Even among the lower animals, the males will fight to the death to protect the females. The African race can never hope to rise to any great eminence in the world when the spineless cowardice of its men permits the open degradation of its girls and young women by leprous and lecherous libertines of alien races. This is Jonathan Bruce again. Like I said, this is the brother you got to go and look into. Now, it's hard to get his book. I fortunately got a copy, but it's hard to get his book. This right here, right? Even among the lower animals, they fight to the death to protect their females, right? One of the issues, I can't remember his name, I think Irritated Genie, he was like, he was analyzing like a Ludacris video or some sort of music video where, you know, it's common in music videos where you have black women grinding up on white men and black men are kind of just rapping along like, yeah, that's it, you know, that's our women, you know, look at that, we grind up on the old white guy, he's so stupid, you know? But it's like, you look like a dumbass selling your women. You're like a dumbass advertising your women for other men. Okay? That's a mangina stuff. That's BAN stuff, real talk. But Eric Dice is going to show you the mangina. So, yeah, definitely a mangina here. I'm a little bit hesitant to show y'all all the Pan-Africanists. You know, I don't like calling out people too much. I don't like calling out the living too much because, you know, I'm not really about that drama. But this guy is so BAN. It's all right. You know what I mean? So let's see this. While we're doing that, I'm going to try to search for this other thing. So this is for those of you. So for those who criticize black women as candidates for the Supreme Court, but really far beyond that, who choose white life partners, a few words from my sermon this morning: "A stranger in your house." At Friendship West, pastored by the great F.H. Unscripted, right?
And I know some people got a problem with some of these women married to white men. Yeah, I'm going to go there this morning. Oh, my God. Well, look, I don't know their situation, but this is what I do know. Some of them, a lot of them are dark-skinned black women, and some Negroes got a problem seeing the beauty in dark-skinned black women. Don't you be mad because a white boy came along and saw what you threw away. I ain't saying that's everybody. I ain't saying that's everything. I'm not saying it's universal. But before you rag on them, understand the story. Some of these darker-skinned black women don't get no love. Could be at a place like Harvard, Princeton, and Yale, and the brothers dating all white women. Now that's their choice if they want to do that, but look at the demonization of darkness. Look at the chocolate charm that's being overlooked. Look at it, and we got everything in the book. Vanilla vitality, caramel cuteness, chocolate charm, mocha magic. We got it all, bruh. And yet we overlook that, right? Because we think that the white man's water is wetter. And skin and flesh is sweeter and sexier. So don't be mad at black women who refusing to be by themselves if they wanted to be a partner, accepted the love and devotion of a white man who saw their value beyond their skin in a way that certain black men could, or saw the beauty and value in their skin, not transcending their darkness, inhabiting it in delicious fashion. But that's another story. So the thing is
y'all heard that shit. Hold on a second. Let me give y'all this is an important link. Like I said, Kofi put up this. Before we go into that mangina, I know some of y'all was just like, the bumper clap, you know? Yeah, some of y'all turned Jamaican, right? But like, yeah, that's what we that's a mangina. Anyway, let me see the comments for a second. Learning Curve says the AA here were not told the term of sales, nor were they to that they were forced into this situation. They refuse to believe that they can reclaim their continent. Work rule everywhere. Your appearance must be neat, clean, and well groomed. Codified for being white looking to get the job. Yeah. Kobe says LOL. I'm guessing to the Mike Dyson thing. Let me just read this quickly before we go to that. This is a student enrollment in the rules of Islam. This is the Nation of Islam. Who is the colored man? And your answer should be, the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet, blah, and so forth. Who is the colored man? The colored man is the Caucasian white man, or Yaqub's grafted devil, the skunk of the planet Earth. Right? What is the population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America and all over the world? The population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America is 17 million. With the 2 million Indians makes it 19 million. All over the planet Earth is 4.4 million. I think here's maybe some more. Population, the colored man, that's the white man, so on and so forth. Now, maybe I'm misreading this again, but, you know, a part of it is also the Asiatic part. Part of it's also the original nation in the wilderness of North America. Now, it's possible that he's just saying whatever, but, you know, the more you look into it, or here's the thing about this, too. I want you to realize that each of these groups, like the problem with the Nation of Islam is that it's already been confused, right? It's already been confusing you from jump. But then there were splinter groups that took more of the confusion and made it more confusing. So it had several splinter groups that are really actually pretty popular among black folks. So you got, you know, and like they have good parts and bad parts, you know? But what happens is that if you have good parts and bad parts and you're, you know, like a lot of the bad parts are circulating, if not as much as the good parts, you know, if not as much more than the good parts. But that's I just wanted to show you all that. So let's go back to the Eric Dyson thing. Yeah, I'll go back to the Eric Dyson thing. And yeah, this is it. Like, it's just a mangina. Like, you know, imagine a woman. Imagine saying, hey, you know, that woman's so delicious and juicy for that white boy. Like, it's just so, like, That's why I talk about y'all with violence, man. Like, because this man don't got to deal, he don't have to fear violence from you. He can say whatever he can do whatever he wants to you. He can say whatever he wants to you. Advertising our women, our beautiful dark women, advertising them for the white boy and saying, yeah, well, you know. And the thing is this, that when you advertise the dark woman to the white man, you are destroying the complexion of the race. You know, already, like, I'll be honest, Michael Dyson's not even that dark himself. You understand? So, like, even if somebody was his complexion and they mess with a white person, like, their child come out looking whiter, right? Whereas somebody making mess with a darker skinned woman, they might have a child looking like Dyson, right? Or maybe darker, but still, they might have a child looking like that. But the point being that you're not going to restore the complexion if the darkest are being taken by these white folk. And white folk are going for the darkest. And I mean, whether or not you believe that we're overlooking the darkest, because we're not really, but whether or not you believe that, yeah, I mean, like that's a treasure. That's a treasured complexion, because once that's gone, like it's gone. You know, like yeah. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's not coming back. You understand? Because that's one thing you're gonna pick up on when you look at America's scene, is that like if you're a speaker in America, like a lot of people who are speakers in America are pretty light complected. You know, it's surprising. It's surprising. You know, one of the things that people like about Amos Wilson, for instance, was that he was just darker. Like, he was one of the rare people who were darker. You know, Dr. King wasn't that dark per se, but he was darker. But like Malcolm X was kind of light. And there's nothing wrong with being light. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it, but you know, here you have this dude who's like, yeah, man, let them take our white women. Let them take our black women. Go on. I support it. And it's just like, yeah, no. Like, no. You know, like, of all the things you could say, no. That's a mangina thing. I mean, it's not exactly a mangina thing, but maybe I shouldn't just make everything BANs. A lot of these people seem like BANs. I'm not going to cap. But all right, so I don't think there was any, there was no pass-me's this week, which was a good thing. Pass-me's are like the opposite of pick-me's. Pass-me's are the opposite of pick-me's. Let's see. I think Alphabet Squad was not here. Alphabet Squad, you know, that's LGBT. Comrades are the communists. They're not here. Nevolutionaries. So we have one example of revolutionary. This was the last decade of radicalism. All right, so we're going to go to page 28 of the Pro-Black Compendium, quick, fast. So we got two more left, okay? So thanks, family, for being here. Make sure y'all subscribe to all the podcasts, whether that be Pro-Black Compendium, whether that be the Harsh Reality Podcast, whether that be Learning Curve, or whether that be the Bit of Medicine Podcast. And of course, if you're not subscribed here, of course, subscribe to the KW's Radio Network. And if you're trying to be a part of the KW's Radio Network, you know, definitely send us a message, and that could be a thing, right? Other than that, we have, also subscribe to this channel. I don't know if y'all noticed, I'm up there with the subscriptions. Finna hit 1,000 soon. So make sure if you're not subscribed already, subscribe, or get somebody else to subscribe, because this is some good stuff, right? I hope you guys agree. Anyway, so on page 28, we're going to, the fly. So a fly that has no one to advise it. Oh, sorry, I'm not even sharing the screen. A fly that has no one to advise it follows the corpse into the grave, right? So again, you know, you go to somebody and say, what do you think about this? What does this mean, right? A fly that has no one to advise it follows the corpse into the grave. One of the things is this, that, you know, so when somebody dies, right, they become a corpse, obviously. And then they begin to, you know, basically get eaten by the insects, and if not the animals, right? And so if you're like, so basically you become food. You become food to the insects, okay? And this is just the circle of life or whatever, you know, however you could talk about it in Lion King or whatever, right? It's just a circle of life, right? Flies, you know, you begin to decay, but your decaying is really you being eaten alive, okay? Here's the thing. Oh, sorry, not eating alive, you're eating dead, right? Anyway, but, if a fly does that, they eat it on you, right? But then the corpse gets buried, right? You know, gets thrown into the ground. And I guess this is a time where this is a place without coffins, I guess. I don't know. But you get thrown to the ground, and then dirt starts getting on you. If you're still eating, right? If you're still eating while the dirt is coming on you, right? You're going to get buried alive. As a fly. Then you're going to die. You're going to be a corpse. And eventually, maybe someday, something's going to eat you, if not a plant. You know what I'm saying? It's not a tree, you know? But, yeah, so, you know, this is how it is for us as people, too. Where if you don't receive good advice, you might look for something simple, right? You might look for some way to get ahead in this world. And then you're going to die. If you're doing something dangerous, particularly, you're going to die if you don't know when to pull out, in a sense. You know? So, like, for instance, you know, you see, like, a lot of times, there's a few stories all over the African world for some reason, where an oil tank would like flip over, right? And then the oil will be leaking out. Now, oil is something that you could sell, right? So a lot of people would walk over and gather the oil from the oil tank. And then the oil tank will explode and kill them. And it's like, if you don't have any, if nobody's advising you and saying, hey, you know what? Either don't do that or, you know, do that shit quickly, although I would really tell you don't do that. You know, you're going to die. And that's it. So now we come to this story. And of course, like I said, you know, your answer to that question is always going to change. That's why it's good to just go into a group and discuss this stuff, because it's always going to change. You know, what you think about this week may not be what you think about in 2 months. Because, you know, there's 8 programs. So, you know, you would do them every 2 months. And so your ideas would always change and grow and differ. And you could always benefit and grow from that. But let me see. How do I switch this thing? Let's see. Change window. So what this is the last decade of radicalism. And yeah, so these are nevolutionaries. Fucking nevolutionaries. They're as bad as any other group. Where is this page? I'm trying to find this page. I got like a couple of windows open. Right here. All right. No, this is not right. Hold on a second. By the way, if y'all don't remember, make sure y'all get a copy of the Book of Power. Make sure you get a copy of the Pro-Black Compendium. Make sure you subscribe, all that jazz. Hit the like button, hit the notify button, hit the bell button. Do what you got to do. I apologize for being later, but this is good, right? Trayvon Martin being a whole decade ago is insane. A moment that radicalized a lot of people my age, me included, right? So basically what happens is this. Trayvon Martin, they were recognizing Trayvon Martin's murder 10 years ago, okay? There were actually quite a few articles on this, but I tried to be, you know, quiet about it pretty more or less. But there were quite a few articles on this, but this is the thing with us as a people. You know, the boy gets killed. His killer is still walking around healthy as ever, rotund as ever, you know, making money, signing bags of Skittles. Big money, right? Disrespectful. Disrespectful. And like, we're talking about we were radicalized by this, you know, 10 years ago. 10 years of radicalism. And nothing around you. Nothing to show for it. And that what you got to show for it is Biden. Okay? Biden. Come on. Like that's what you got to show for it. I mean, and technically I would say, you know, Trump and Biden. You know? But like, that's what you got to show for it. You know, BLM pushing Biden, pushing the Democrats. That's it. After 10 years. Nevolutionaries. I'm telling you, this is because they said like a lot of people radicalized. There were a lot of articles coming out. Oh, it was so hard for me to write about Trayvon Martin's, you know, what happened in the last 10 years of radicalism. Like, what's radical? What's radical? The police still, you know, 10,000, 20,000 strong. You still not even 5 strong. What's radical? The BLM leaders are millionaires now. Somebody, oh, I feared for my life. I thought I was going to die. She didn't. All the people that were killed was like Darren Seals. You know what I'm saying? And quite a few black folk who were about it were found dead the same way. And I'm not going to say that it's police connected, because it might not be. Right? It don't have to be police connected. Not everybody dying got to be police connected, but what if it was? And what have we done about it? 10 years of radicalism. Come on, man. The moment that radicalized me. I mean, I know. It sounds like another BAN, but anyway. So this is the last one. This is James Small. All right? James Small. Pan-Africanist of the freaking week. NL is a good name for them. What's NL? Nevolutionary? What's NL? Yeah, this is James Small. So, this is James. Y'all be talking about James Small. Sometimes people be like, James Small says that Amos Wilson is the best Garveyite, the best Garveyite we ever had. James Small is a Pan-Africanist. James Small. When I tell y'all about James Small, anyway, let me go to the PBC quote though, because that's what I'm saying. Like I try not to talk about people who are living. Sometimes y'all be like, "Why are you talking about dead people?" It's like, well, because like living people are petty. Dead people, they get it. You know what I'm saying? They get it. So I think was it this one? Oh, okay, yeah, sure. If Africans identify as Americans, why would they care about Africa? So I wrote this in 2013. Okay, I wrote this in 2013. The Pro-Black Compendium in 2013. This quote is older than Pro-Black Compendium. Sorry. So the book, the pamphlet that I was doing was written in 2013, right? Pro-Black Compendium comes a little later. But what I'm saying is, if Africans identify as Americans, then why would they care about Africa? Right? That's what I said. Okay? It's like you can't identify as American and then care about Africa. Because why would you? Because realistically speaking, you got to identify with the nation. You got to care about your nation. Like I said, the Englishman cares about England before he cares about France. The Frenchman don't really care about Ukraine like that before he cares about France. Right? And so the African American is going to care about America. If you call yourself African American, if you identify as American, then you ain't going to care about Africa's a continent, first off. You understand? Some groups are hostile. Some groups have a lot of hostile people in them. You got to face facts as well as fancies. You see, I tell you I like that quote. In fact, this one brother on Discord sent me an article showing the Somali. There was a Somali chat that was like cancel Tariq Nasheed, but they were just going in on Black Americans. They didn't like Black Americans at all. But now this is just maybe I'm not gonna say a small segment of Somali people. This is just a segment of Somali people. But yeah, they're not gonna like it because again, Somalia is a nation. It's a nation. You gotta identify with your nation, and if you like your nation enough, you're gonna like it over other people, other nations. It's not just why would they care about Africa. It's like if you identify as a Ugandan, why would you care about Rwanda? Especially if Rwanda and Uganda are at war. You know what I'm saying? If you are a proud Ugandan, you're about Uganda. And this is just common sense. You have to. This is why I said you gotta be about nations. You gotta be about nations. We like to identify with race. We like to identify with continent. But you gotta be about nations because it's going to be complicated. Because at some point, because see, nations are the highest forms of organization. Nations are also what does war. You understand? They're also the entities that do war. Obviously, you can have war on a different scale as well. You don't need to just be a nation to do war, but that's one of the things that nations do. So, just an FYI, that eventually, like when it comes to war, if you're talking about war, you gotta so on and so forth. Learning Curve is doing some laughing gestures. I don't know what to what though, but yeah. Something was funny, right? Kofi says Nevolutionaries. But Kofi, I don't know why there's an L there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Nevolutionaries. Yeah, some brother, actually Adirafo, I think he made up both of these Pan-Africanist and thing. But yeah, so anyway, we go to James Smalls, right? I mean, I heard it from both from him, Nevolutionary and Pan-Africanist. So we go to James Small, and yeah, James Small is like, I knew this brother back. Like I said, I used to organize in Brooklyn. This dude, I met this dude a long time ago. All right, I knew this guy a long time ago, and like I said, when I was in the Ultimate Masters organization, he was like, all of the black organizations, all the other black organizations were white finance. All of them working for the police. This guy's in like every Pan-African thing. He's in like there's a Pan-African Daily channel. He's there like, I want to say every week at least, right? He's there every week. This dude is a con man. I knew him from jump. Like I said, we used to organize in I used to organize in Brooklyn, obviously, and I'd go to Harlem. They would have like a Malcolm X parade where they would shout down at the businesses, "Close, cause it's Malcolm X Day. Close, it's Malcolm X Day. If you don't close, we're gonna boycott you. We're gonna stand in front of your store until you do close." And then when they do close, we're like, "Yeah, you close." We closing all the businesses that I think either all the businesses that weren't black or just all the businesses, just for Malcolm X, right? All the businesses that were black just automatically closed. They were like, "Yeah, let's celebrate Malcolm X," right? Now Harlem, 10 years later, got no black businesses on 125th Street. And he was sitting there 10 years ago talking about collecting donations from us in order that we can make sure to get a bunch of black businesses across 125th Street. Restore the black economy, 125th Street. He took the donations and ran. And he been swindling black folk from before Tariq. Okay? But now look at this thing right here. Like again, like all of them people, like all these, like they all grifters. But let me show you this. So this person, this American flag person, usually you just block them. I might just block them right after this. But I didn't block them so I could show you guys this. What's this Pan-Africanist, activist, scholar, and speaker, Professor James Small, briefly explains how we allow people, pseudo-Pan-Africanists like Dwayne Amawali, to get us to reject our identity as black Americans while people from elsewhere will try to assume our identity to benefit themselves. Right, so I'm going to play this.
We allow people to have us deny our identity as African Americans while other Africans come from other places and try to assume that identity for economic reasons and political reasons, and yet do not ally themselves with the African American in most instances. That those immigrant African community tend to ally themselves with the European American, not understanding what the historical relationship between the African American and the European American is, or the war, the cultural war and the spiritual war and the economic war and the political war that still exists between those two communities. So when you're an African from another place and you come and say, well, I can't get caught up in that, I'm here to make money, then you ally yourself with someone I'm at war with and wonder why I treat you a certain way. So you need to understand what you have just done. Besides disrespecting me in my country, something I would never do to you in your country. I would not go to Senegal and choose the side of the French against you. I would not come to Jamaica and choose the side of the Brits against you. So why would you come to America and choose the side of the white American for whatever reason, economic, political, cultural, or whatever, against me and my interests, and then tell me I'm unwelcoming to you? I welcome my friends and my brothers and sisters. I do not welcome my enemies, whether they look like me or not. Let's get that clear up front. And then let's look at some of the episodes in the epic history.
All right, so look, I'm telling y'all, so this dude worked for the police. Okay? If he don't work, I mean, sorry, here in Brooklyn, like I tell you, Altamires would tell us this. He would say, in Brooklyn, there's this church, this is big church, right, that produces many of the black leaders in Brooklyn, in New York, okay? It's a church down Atlantic Avenue, and he was telling us, down the street from this, House of the Lord's Church, that's what it's called, House of the Lord's Church, right? Down the street from the House of the Lord's Church is a police precinct. So this dude talking about, they align against our interests, the white man's their enemies. What white man your enemy? And I tell you, man, like a lot of the conscious community be capping. They be capping because it's like, damn well this white boy, like you saying the white boy your enemy, you think the white boy your enemy, how many white boys you kill? If you at war with this white boy, how many white boys you kill? That's my question. The old ass dude. A con artist. Then he gonna come up here. Let me not. But like, so, and I tell you, man, I remember somebody was telling me, hey, Amos Wilson said that. No, he said that he had a presentation on Amos Wilson being the best radical. Actually, let me block this motherfucker before I go. Let's block this motherfucker before I go. But anyway, he like, anyway, he like, oh, by the way, y'all see this? This is Lero right here. So y'all follow Lero, and y'all follow D-Web, and follow Learning Curve as well. One day I hope the majority of black people get tired of being used as pawns in other people's beefs. I'm not gonna hold my breath though. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to that, so on and so forth. I mean, obviously, make sure y'all subscribe to people on social media as well. A lot of gems being dropped all the time. But yeah, that's like this dude's old-fashioned traitor. And then they got the nerve to be talking about. And it's like this, you know damn well black Americans are not against white folk like that on a regular. Because it's like, you work for this motherfucker. And then you like, well, why would African people come to this continent and work for them too? Like, what are you fucking talking about? You're working for him. They'd come over here and work for him too because he invited them. And you like, you're not siding with us. Siding with you? You didn't even got a side. You didn't even pick up your own damn side. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, so this is right here. I said, this is me back in August 3rd, 2021. So I'm not just making up this James Small thing. I said, this is the guy who people claim Amos Wilson was the ultimate Garveyite. What's a corny ass phrase? Anyway, I never watched Sign of the TV. I never trusted James Small. But it's confusing security is why I tell y'all America's doomed. Good luck, though. You know? This is the guy, he's like,
you got the African Day Parade. You don't see the Africans. You got the festival that be going on in Brooklyn. The band festival, the African festival. Where's the Africans at? When we doing our rallies and our marches, where's the Africans at on your side? Talk to us really about that, man.
See, let me tell you something. We think slavery in America was something. Slavery in Africa is still in force. You talking about deaf, blind, and dumb. Don't confuse you because somebody got on some printed cloth that's printed in Holland or India that you're looking at an African cultural expression. That's not an African cultural expression. That cloth was printed in a European country and then sold to Africans. And they've accepted that as their cloth. You understand what I'm saying? Just that piece. Now, they do speak the language, but they know less about their history than you and I do. So you've got a deaf, blind, dumb, backwards person speaking an African language, coming from the African country, came here to be a parasite on their own people, with no respect for themselves as human beings, and then because they speak a language, try to play you off like they got something culturally that you don't have. The most culturally enforced African in the world is the African American. Most of the movements that have changed the world, that allow all ethnic nations to profit, has been our movement. And so we get peed on and played down because these people are so punked out and scared of the white man that they feel because they're scared of the white man, they got to be against us.
Are they our people, brother, or are we our own people now?
No, we got to understand two things. We have a race, and then we have an ethnic place. Ethnically, we African Americans. Just like a guy from Africa, he can say he's African, but there's no country called African. He's either Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, or so. That's his ethnic nation. Racially, we are together, but economically, we may well be enemies. And we have to be clear on that. That our economic enemy is just that. And if you deal with your economic enemy like it's your friend, you're going to be the loser at the end of the day. Now, we raised the question of Pan-Africanism in this hemisphere. You know, we had the brothers from Trinidad, and then you had W.B. Du Bois, and we created this phenomena. But Africa has never created a Pan-African movement. You understand? Africa has never really supported a Pan-African movement. We had a couple of people in...
Yeah, you see this? This is the judge of who's the ultimate Garveyite. Anyway, Pan-African is now this guy would do anything for $1. This guy would say and do anything for $1. Okay, but you see him saying and doing anything. Cause I tell you, this guy was collecting money from me so that he could have businesses in Harlem. And I tell you, there's this documentary, and I see. I can't remember. I think it was this dude, brother Christopher Marshall, who said one of the reasons why ADOS is flourishing is because the elders are like still working with the ADOS people. But here's the thing: the elders in the African community still working with these kind of con men, these old school con men. We still working with them. You understand? We're still working with them. Because I tell you, there was a new documentary that came out. I'm not even going to say what the quality of it, right? But at the end of the documentary, the ending scene, is this dude talking in front of Harlem. Right now, I haven't gone to Harlem in a minute because it's just far. I'm in a part of Brooklyn that's just far from Harlem. No cap, right? Harlem's on the top of Manhattan. I'm on the bottom of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So it's two different boroughs. It's far, right? Like maybe like an hour train ride or something. Just not worth it to just casually go. But so he's showing a video of Harlem, right? And I'm reminded of this time when I met Sister Soldier, but Sister Soldier said she wished she was a photographer because she noticed a big difference between how Harlem was when she grew up in it versus how Harlem is now, right? But I'm looking at the background of him talking in front of Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. Matter of fact, that's the same place that we met so that he could talk about how he was going to collect our money to get a bunch of black businesses here, right? But you're looking at the video, and it's like a McDonald's and this and so on and so forth. Just became commercial, completely white on his watch. And then he's talking about, oh, yeah, well, the Africans outside are the enemies. They are economic enemies. And I'm telling you, like I said, because the thing is that with black folk particularly, who are of the opinion that, the continental Africans are power, you have to realize that a lot of times it's like you're never pointing at yourself. If I were from the continent of Africa and I came to America, because I'll say it this way. One time I was sitting on the UNIA meeting, and this brother came with the same sort of complaints. He was like, oh, why is it that when, like somebody coming from Africa, like some speaker came from Africa, and they're going to speak at Yale or something like that. Like, they're going to like a Yale function or whatever, right? Like a Yale invited them to speak, and so they're speaking at Yale. And they're like, why does this person never come and speak to us? And it's like, where the fuck would they speak to you at? Do you even have a community center? Do you even have an institution where people come? Do you even have a learning institution? Do you even have a university? Do you even have businesses? Do you even have a factory? Do you even have a leader? Do you even have a leadership council? What are you doing? Why would you think people would travel all the way from Africa to go speak to you? Are you even paying speakers? Are you even inviting speakers? See, Mr. Untouchable says I like Alton Maddox. Alton Maddox, for what it's worth, a lot of these speeches that you see, you saw how like on that Jay Small video it said tap video. So tap video used to be this guy named I can't remember his name, but this dude, like Transatlantic Production, I think. But the thing is that the dude who used to film it used to film at the UAM every week, because the UAM would invite a speaker every Wednesday, right? And eventually it became such that a lot of the speeches that we see on YouTube today were recorded at the UAM, But like that was a venue where they would pay. So Alton Maddox would pay these black folk from all over the world to come and speak. Okay? So you pay Alton Maddox. He played Al Sharpton. Not Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton was there though. But he could pay. Actually, no, they did actually pay Al Sharpton too, which is another mistake. But they pay Amos Wilson. They pay Al Mansour. They pay John Henry Clark. They pay Dr. Ben. So on and so forth. With Dr. Clark, in fact, Dr. Clark left money for Maddox after he passed. It was that serious. But anyway, the thing is that like if you have a venue, sure, people will come and speak to you. But you talking about why they don't come speak to us, and like you don't even have nothing. I used to go like I said, I used to organize inside Brownsville. We had like it was like a community center where I would go to, and I would actually put up flyers in the buildings, and they'd be taken down in a minute. Like our people like it wouldn't make any sense to be like, hey, I don't know that the Nigerians, that Chinueba or whatever, right? But for Chinueba to come to your neighborhood, right, and speak at a venue, about, I guess, I don't know if this is Chinueba. I don't remember the sister who did that speech, but the sister who did the speech where she's like, oh, Britain has our stolen goods, or like our artifacts or something. Like the British Museum has our artifacts. Like, why would she go to your neighborhood to talk about that? I mean, I don't know why she's talking about that, period, but if Yale is going to pay her to talk about that, then of course she's going to go to Yale to do that. But why would our community Like, our community don't even pay speakers. Our community don't even have speakers, but you like, why nobody come to connect with us and business connections? What business connections you got? You don't even like you go down Brownsville, it's like they don't even have no black fooderies. Like, they barely have any black restaurants. Maybe like 2 of 20. Anyway, I can't. But like, yeah, this right here, it's a Pan-Africanist where he's just like attacking like another black group for the money, for the lulz. And this is why this is a man who, if you look into it, is also on Pan-African Daily on a regular. Talking to a black audience on a regular. I think I can actually show y'all that. Probably. But anyway, but like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I can't with that. I can't with that. So what I will say is, that's pretty much the article. That's the Pan-African. I mean, there's actually a lot of Pan-Africanists. I'm not gonna hold y'all. A lot of them are live though. But this one was just so reprehensible. So I just had to. Oh, matter of fact, they just I just saw the name of the system. No, the name of the system not here. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on a second. Pan-African Daily. Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds. I got it right here. This is Pan-African Daily. 50,000 subscribers. And he's... hopefully they caught wind on this motherfucker. But... like, this guy is always here. Mapongo Joshua. I don't actually watch this stuff, by the way. I'm glad they got this sister. But he's here. Here I said that he's always here. But, you know... I used to just get notifications. I might have turned off the note. But here, this is James Small, a month ago. And before that, he was there, obviously, a lot. Look, James Small again, a month ago. Talking about stay awoken. Because this is like an African audience. I guess it's the same thing. But this is an African audience, like a continental African audience, trying to like unite the continent, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, hey, you know, the black Americans these people are our enemy. Read broadcasts of President James Small and Femi Akimbi. You know? And I mean, if you ever listen to his stuff, it's really not impressive. It's really not impressive. But he's there on the Pan-African site. Here, James Small again. Trailer video for James Small. What Africans need to learn. Meanwhile, he's dissing the Kente cloth. And of course he's wearing it. Oh, here again. James Small, just the same month, 4 months ago. Like I tell you, it was something to build Africa economically. And I mean, I tell you, this guy let Harlem go to waste. Let Harlem go to waste. You know? That's why I'm talking about the ACPA. Because, like, Kaba Hiawatha, you know. I like Leonard Jeffries, though. I'm not going to hold y'all. Leonard Jeffries is a good brother. Very good brother. You know? But, yeah, that's pretty much it, though. This is the Pan-Africanism. Again, James Smalls. Must watch James Smalls. And again, he's a trainer. Please watch this, James Smalls. Hour and 49 minutes. He's a legit race trader. But y'all ain't hear from me. I mean, I know I'm being recorded, but y'all ain't hear from me. I don't know. So let me just see what the rest of this is. Mr. Tubbs says, respect only. I want you to go in on Uncle James Small. Ain't my uncle, that's for sure. Kobe says, sounds like a movie. Leonard Kerr says, I don't know. We need to stop keeping their secrets. Yeah, I mean, we can't, like... We can't. A lot of people on the police payroll. And here's the thing, too. If you go to court with the police, right, you can tell a judge, subpoena a judge, to release who is on the police payroll. You know what I mean? You get a lawyer who says, okay, look, I want to know who's on the police payroll in the black community. And they'll give you the list. Because they have to. If you can convince the judge, they'll produce the list of who's on the police payroll. I was told that you could just go up there and purchase the paper. But it's quite a few people are on the police payroll. If not the police payroll, directly, indirectly. Because what happened with the Freedom Party, why we messed up, was after we announced the race, Al Sharpton got $1 million out of nowhere. Just got $1 million. And then Sister's Place, another place, there's a place called Sister's Place, was purchased. Another guy, G2A UC, bought a building across the street from the UAM hangout. Okay, so if the UAM had meetings one place, they bought a building across the street. Right after Al Sharpton got the money. Okay? And James Smalls, who has an organization up in Brooklyn too, in New York, I think it's in Queens, he got some money too. Like he eventually purchased off something too. You understand? It's not a game. It's not a game in this world. But you know, like I said, y'all ain't hear from me. You know, again, I'm going by 10 years of memory. You know? But American flag is the username is a red flag. Yeah, block him. Mr. Untouchable says, I like automatics. LOL. Interesting. Learning Curve says, in a world that requires money to exist, you must get as many people as possible to pay for your subscription. They have failed us everywhere and lied about their deeds. Shaking my head. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, these people could just put on a hat, man. You know, depending on where you are, it's like what people want you to say, what people want you to do. You know, if you're a con artist, you don't really care about any results but your pocket, which is what these people do. Charles Barron was the one who betrayed the Freedom Party, and he was running for the governor. We had him on the ticket, and so I was kind of mad with Automatics for that, because it was like he was like, yeah, I knew that there was a snake, but I didn't know he was down with a snake. So it's like, why the fuck did you put that snake there? But that's the thing with us, that we have to pass around the intelligence, because sometimes we're not passing around the intelligence, then we end up with innocent people in Africa, right? Innocent people in Africa or innocent people in America falling for the okie doke, falling for the con artists, because we're not talking. We like, oh yeah, like I'm like, oh yeah, James Small's bad, but I'm keeping it to myself. Rest of y'all, oh, James Small's good, James Small's good, James Small's amazing. And then now he's on this documentary, he's on this, he's on that, and he can't say nothing. He won't save anything. But anyway, that's pretty much that. That's the Enemies Within. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Make sure y'all check out all the podcasts. And also appreciate y'all. I'll go down the list. Obviously, Learning Curve, Mr. Untouchable, Kofi, and then Lero, Harsh Reality Podcast, Jakati, One, and Walter Wilder. And let's see, Jigan, EL is here, Tanzan, and yeah, I think that's the whole list. So appreciate everybody for coming through, and make sure you subscribe to the KWZ Radio Network and everybody on the KWZ Radio Network, and let's do this. And of course, if you want to have a podcast as well, just let us know, and it'll be there. All right. But until next time, Shemim Hotep. Uncle Josh Seneb Neb, Amen, Ma'at, Dua Netcher.